The wind dragged through hollow streets, tearing at dying leaves until they spun like rust-colored phantoms. The great oak on the corner creaked under its own age, branches clutching at the night sky like desperate hands. Halloween had rendered the boundary between the ordinary and the supernatural tenuous. The moon, pale and coin-like, cast its glow over an atmosphere thick with the mingling scents of decay and sugar. 10-year-old Leo moved cautiously along the sidewalk, his plastic pumpkin bucket growing heavier with each piece of candy collected. Each exhale clouded the interior of his werewolf mask. Despite the hour nearing midnight, Leo pressed forward with determination, his resolve driven by a desire to prove himself among his peers and to face the fear tied to the street's most infamous house. Yet, it was not only these motivations, an unseen force seemed to pull him toward the house, as though he were a puppet on strings. The decrepit structure, positioned at the street's end, loomed behind a broken fence and a desolate yard, exuding an air of foreboding as it awaited any who dared to approach. The other kids had warned him about it. They said the old couple who lived there had disappeared one Halloween night, vanished like smoke, and that sometimes, when the moon was right, a single porch light would flicker back to life. Tonight, the porch light glowed, a lone bulb burning with an eerie persistence, swaying in the restless wind. Leo paused at the gate, his hand hovering above the latch. Doubt gnawed at him. Every instinct urged him to turn back, but something deeper pulled him forward. His heart pounded with a wild mix of fear and exhilaration. Finally, with a shaky breath, he chose to press on. The gate groaned open, loud and reluctant, as if warning him away. Gravel crunched under his sneakers, and his bucket rattled in his grip. Halfway up, the wind died. A voice, dry and rasping as paper against the stone, slithering out from the porch shadows. "Got a good one for you, boy." Leo froze. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a form unnaturally tall and thin, its proportions unsettlingly distorted. The coat draped over its frame resembled mourning attire, its dark fabric absorbing what little light remained. When the porch lamp flickered, its face became visible, the features crudely fashioned, as if layers of desiccated parchment had been stitched together to approximate humanity. Underneath the taut, pallid skin, an indistinct motion persisted, slow and intentional. He crept across the room, imparting the eerie impression that the entity's very flesh recoiled from its own shape. Its eyes glowed the color of old embers, its grin was carved too deeply, like a jack-o'-lantern's mouth forced into human form. "Trick," it said softly, "or treat. You can't have both." "I'll take a treat," Leo finally said, clutching his bucket. His grip was so tight that his fingers turned white. The creature's grin widened, and seams were straining. A treat, then. How wise. It extended a hand of bone-white fingers tipped in obsidian claws. The air reeked faintly of earth and old candles. Leo's candy suddenly vanished from his pumpkin bucket, and in its place lay something cold. It was a wooden box, no bigger than his fist, carved with faces that wept and laughed, and screamed all at once. The porch light blinked, then went out. The night swallowed everything. When Leo dared to breathe again, he was alone. He ran through the silent streets, past the hollow-eyed jack-o'-lanterns, until the safe, familiar glow of his bedroom light wrapped around him. Only then did he open the box. Inside, nestled in dried moss, was a single piece of candy corn. Except, it wasn't quite candy. Its texture was waxy and cold, and its colors seemed alive, shifting like oil. The tiny piece was carved into the shape of a grinning pumpkin. Despite the unease rising in his gut, Leo put it in his mouth. It tasted perfect. Too perfect, rich and warm, like the memory of autumn itself. He felt he was at peace. But as it melted, something felt off. He didn't know what it was. Then, a chill seeped through his veins, and a whisper brushed against his ear. "Every treat hides a trick." He turned, expecting to see shadows move, but instead, in the mirror, there was only his reflection. Only, it wasn't right. Not exactly his. The boy in the mirror smiled back. His grin was a little too wide, the corners stretching, dark lines spreading across his cheeks like stitches. Leo screamed at the top of his lungs, but the reflection didn't. He never told anyone about that night. He grew older and the entire memory dulled, like a bruise beneath the skin, but it never vanished. Sometimes, when the wind howled through Hollow Street, he could still hear laughter, dry, rasping, and close. And on Halloween nights, when he did dream of that porch and its dying light, he woke up to find the wooden box on his nightstand once more empty.